Alright everyone, welcome to episode 4 of our on-air airline manager career. I am currently at my home base, Teterboro Airport, with a new paint job on the CJ4, and today will be our first flight that we are paid for. We'll be flying 9 passengers to upstate New York, 2 going to Syracuse, and I believe 9 going to Griffiss Air Force Base. Griffiss Air Force Base is not far from Syracuse Airport, so we're going to fly to Syracuse first, drop those couple passengers off, then head over to Griffiss Air Force Base and drop off the rest. Alright, without further ado, let's get into it. Alright, here's the layout of our job that we have, and I said 2 people going to Syracuse. It's actually 7 going to Syracuse, 2 going to Griffiss Air Force Base. It's a business trip. And I have my badge, so I'm able to fly passengers. I elected to get that first before the badge to take out a loan. I'll just rent for now. So next we're going to go up here, click on aircraft, and let's just get our aircraft ready. Prepare aircraft. Since we're at our home base right now and fuel is cheap, I'm just going to fill up the tanks. Click on the 2 passengers going to Griffiss and the 7 passengers going to Syracuse. The gross weight is over maximum, so I'm definitely going to have to come down on some of that fuel. See how much we can have in there. Here we go. That's a happy medium. So 84% on the fuel. That sounds good to me. Alright, confirm fuel and payload. Right, let's put our destination in here, KSYR, and then it gives us the alternate Griffiss, which is hilarious because that's where we're going next. So everything looked good, passengers okay, cargo okay. Right, and here's our tracking page, so I'm just going to start tracking, and I will see you guys when the engines are started and we are ready to taxi to, I believe it's runway 6 that we have today, that we're going to take off on due to this weather. So I'll see you guys in a little bit. Right everyone, welcome back. Engines have just started and I just clicked the passenger brief button, which pulled up the passenger brief menu, and what I want is the passenger safety announcement. Since we have 9 on board today, let's click that and we should hear the safety announcement. Here we go.
At this time, please comply with the illuminated seat belt and no smoking signs. Thank you.
Right, quick and easy. I'll leave that up there because I'm just going to need the takeoff brief also. 15 degrees of flaps coming down and we are ready to taxi to runway 6. Park and brake off. Let's get some power into this. Alright, here we go. We picked up this plane, parked at Signature Aviation today. Great day for flying, for me at least. I love flying in not the best of weather. Sunny days are great, but it gets really interesting when you add in some rain, snow, hurricane every now and then. Alright, making our left turn on Gulf. Right, and we can brief the passengers on takeoff.
May I have your attention, please? Welcome aboard the Citation CJ4 aircraft. Your flight crew will make every effort to make your trip a pleasant one. At this time, please refer to the passenger briefing card located near your seat for important safety-related information. Smoking is prohibited aboard this aircraft while the no smoking lights are illuminated and prohibited in the lavatory at all times. Aviation regulations
just going to hold short here until the passenger brief is over.
No smoking and seatbelt signs, placards, as well as flight crew instructions. For taxi, takeoff, and landing, please ensure that your lap belt and shoulder harness are fastened and all portable electronic devices are turned off.
There we go. Park and brake coming on, and I'm just going to do my final check.
Lap belt
torpedo heat's coming on. Alright, we're gonna hit the takeoff button. It's gonna turn this up here to takeoff.
To release the shoulder harness, unhook the metal end from the stud.
And as soon as we line up on the runway, just gonna push in the heading bug just to get our runway heading. And then once we are airborne, I can turn on FLC and nav and all that good stuff. Alright, we've been cleared for takeoff. So landing lights coming on, taxi light off, strobe lights coming on. We're just going to put some throttle in here and line up on runway 6. Heading to upstate New York, Syracuse to be exact, to drop off a couple passengers and over to Griffiss Air Force Base to drop off the rest. There we go. Alright, let's hold down the brakes. Heading bug, let's push that in. Alright, we're looking good. Gonna put the throttle up to the takeoff detent slowly. Alright, release the brakes. And rotate. There we go. That was a nice takeoff. And flaps coming up. We can make our left turn now. And we can put this back into climb. Right, FLC mode. Let's put it into nav and autopilot all coming on. Let's put the speed up to 235. I think that's good. We'll be cruising today at flight level 240, and it shouldn't take us long to get there at all. Not in this rocket. Right, passing 6,000 feet, we've been cleared to flight level 160. Alright, we've been cleared up to our cruising altitude of flight level 240, and I will talk to you guys when we get closer to that flight level. Alright everyone, we are at our cruise altitude of flight level 240, but not for long, so I'm just going to get some views of the outside, and I will be right back with you when it's time to descend into Syracuse. Alright, I'm going to test out this VNAV descent that they have in the working title. So I'm just going to click the lower menu button over here. I'm going to scroll down to where it says plan. I'm going to click plan, and now I'm going to click MFD ADV. And I can see my top of descent is right here before the CFB VOR, which I'm currently on route towards the CFB VOR. So let's just go back to the legs page. We can put this back on PPOS and take off the lower menu. So I'm going to look at this legs page, and I want to descend down to 2,700. So I'm going to enter that. Altitude of 2,700, and I am going to arm my VNAV, and let's see what happens. I don't think I need to do anything else here. So if we look closely, it says right here path in white, so when my VNAV is armed, this should turn to green and go up here. So let's see what happens. I have my altitude, I have my VNAV armed, so when it starts to descend, or if it doesn't and I have to start my descent manually, I will let you guys know. I will see you then. Alright everyone, welcome back, and now we see our top of descent. We're approaching it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull back on the throttle, lower my speed a little bit. and let's see what happens. Alright, VPath has turned green. Plane has started to descend, so it looks like things are working. That is a great sign. I got scared for a second that I would have to hit the vertical speed knob and do it myself, but that's a great sign. Alright, plane is descending down to 2,700. Alright everyone, we are back in the clouds and descending down to more clouds. We're crossing 10,000 feet, so my landing lights are going to come on. And I am going to put the wing light on. And we're under 10,000 feet, so we can go ahead and let's turn on that passenger, or brief our passengers for landing.
May I have your attention, please? We will be landing shortly. Please turn off all portable electronic devices, stow tables, secure luggage, and loose articles. Return your seat to the upright and outboard position. Extend your headrest and fasten your lap belt and shoulder harness. After landing, please remain in your seat with your lap belt and shoulder harness securely fastened until the aircraft has come to a complete stop in the parking area. Thank you.
Alright, passengers are briefed on the landing. So we're 15 nautical miles out from Stoda, which is the first fix on the ILS for runway 28 at Syracuse, and we should be crossing Stoda at 2,700 feet. We're currently just under 5,000 feet above that, so I'm hoping this VNAV can get us down within 14 nautical miles and make up that gap within the 14 nautical miles we have left. Hopefully it can. I'm gonna let it do its thing and not interrupt unless I have to. Alright, and what I should have done is started my descent a little earlier manually, and then hit the VNAV so it could pick that up, because now I'm a little high. But let me correct that, and I'm going to change my altitude down to 2100, because that is the Tilly fix for Syracuse. And let's see if we can get down to 2100 before we need to. Speed brake all the way out because that speed is building. Right, and I think I made up the difference enough for me to put this back up to 2,700. Alright, we are looking good. Airport is out here somewhere. Can't really see it with all this cloud coverage. And there we go. There's the rain. Go ahead and put the speed brake back up. Put some throttle in here. So our approach speed should be about 124 today. .35 degrees of flaps coming down. And throttle in. We have a rainbow right there. That's a good sign. Nothing bad happens when rainbows are around. We'll want to be at 1600 when we cross Zimby, which Zimby is in 5 nautical miles. So we can put this down to 1600. Vertical speed to 800. More throttle coming in. I always lose track of that. Keep forgetting that I control the throttle and it's not like set. Like I've been flying the fly-by-wire A32NX a lot, and it's just set there. Alright, when we have the runway in sight, gear will come down. I'm already full flaps. Position my feet on these rudder pedals that I have. Alright, runway ahead, gear coming down. And autopilot coming off. Alright, my controls. I can barely see that runway ahead. speed looking great.
190 at 2 knots.
All right. Oh, this is a really good approach. Really, really good approach here. Hopefully the landing is good. And over the numbers, power coming out. Let's hold it off, hold it off, hold it off, hold it off.
Landing time.
Oh, that was great. Right nose wheel down. Oh, that was great. Right, I'm just gonna turn on the next taxiway. Right, let's turn here and just clean up the plane. So, taxi light on, landing light off, strobes off, and general aviation parking. This terminal right up here is where we want to drop our passengers off. All right. And here we are. All right, parking brake set. Taxi light off. We can turn the nav light off for now. Let's turn the nav light off. Engine coming off.
Engine off, time log.
Engine off, beacon
Flight
coming
is
off.
finished. It has been monitored by OnAir.
Right, thank you. Flight is finished. Right, so we're in our OnAir client, and it shows us that we have completed this flight. We've dropped those passengers off. So let's see if I go to my company and pending jobs. So it tells us we delivered the 2 Army personnel to Syracuse, and now we have to fly from Syracuse to Griffiss Air Force Base and drop off the remaining 2 passengers, 7 Army personnel in Syracuse, sorry. And we'll be dropping off 2 passengers to Griffiss Air Force Base. So I will see you guys when it's time to taxi and take off from Syracuse to Griffiss Air Force Base. Shouldn't be long. I will see you then. Alright everyone, welcome back. We have started up again and we are about ready to taxi to runway 28 for our second flight up to Griffiss Air Force Base to drop off the rest of our passengers. So flaps down to 15 degrees, throttle in, and we can turn on that passenger brief now.
May I have your attention, please? We will be taking off shortly. Please turn off all portable electronic devices, stow tables, secure luggage, and loose articles. Ensure your seat is in the upright and outboard position.
Pretty quick turnaround here at Syracuse.
And fasten your lap belt and shoulder harness. Thank you.
First time doing a 2-part leg on OnAir. And these, of course, are the ones that have the most money. So when I'm renting a jet, I definitely want to take routes that give me the most money because it is not cheap. Alright, we've been cleared to take off. Runway 28 here at Syracuse. Just going to let the plane roll and take off. Again, rotation speed is 106. Pushing this heading bug while we're rolling. Enough runway here, so no issues at all. And here we go. And rotate. And let's make our left turn. making basically a 180 degree turn. Put that nose down a little bit. And we're only climbing to 9,000 feet today. I think the airport's only about 50 nautical miles away. Alright, as we're climbing, just going to adjust that heading, put on the FLC, we can go down to 237, and I'm going to put on the autopilot. And I'm going to arm nav. Alright, not much going on up here, so I will see you guys when it's time to descend into Griffiss Air Force Base and drop off our passengers and get paid. I believe it's $28K for this trip, so I will see you guys shortly. Alright guys, I'm starting my descent into Griffiss Air Force Base. So what I did different compared to descending into Syracuse a little while ago was I armed the VNAV, but I also clicked the FLC, the flight level change button, after I put my altitude down to where I wanted it, 3,700. So let's see if that changes anything. I still think the VNAV is going to pick up, but I think that in arming the FLC, I should get down to 3,700 and not be high like I was coming into Syracuse. Alright, so since I've clicked the vertical speed and I'm controlling my own descent, it looks like that didn't work that time either. So it looks like I'm just going to have to do some more reading on the VNAV descents in this plane, because I know you can do them. So hopefully on the next episode we'll get a successful VNAV descent into our airport. But for right now, we're on vertical speed mode, descending at 2,000 feet per minute, heading for 3,700 feet to intercept bolts, which is the first fix on the ILS for runway 33 into Griffiss Air Force Base. And we are getting close to landing, so I'm just going to brief these passengers. And let's turn the seatbelt sign on.
May I have your attention, please? The captain has turned on the seatbelt sign. Please fasten your seatbelt and shoulder harness at this time. Thank you.
Alright, making a left turn so we can meet up with our fix, bolts. So after bolts, we're going down to Marcy, which is 2,500. That is the restriction that we'll be passing through that at. So I already put 2,500 right here for our altitude, and I'm just going to hit the V speed, and I like to start my descents early just so I don't miss it. Vertical speed of 1,000 feet per minute. 35 degrees of flaps coming out, and here's the airport up ahead. So when we pass through Marcy, gear will come down and autopilot will come off. Approach speed today will be 114. We can add 5 and say 121. Pretty long runway here. Air Force bases usually are 11,821 feet. So there should be no issue with us stopping in time. Alright, runway in sight. Gear coming down. And there's the rain. I knew it was coming. I saw that we were flying into it. Right rudder in there. Here we go. Here we go.
Landing time
Here we go.
logged.
Nice touchdown. Nose coming down. Right nose is down. Alright, good. Here we are, and we have the terminal up ahead. That's where we will drop off the remaining passengers, and we will be spending the rest of the day here in Griffiss Air Force, or at Griffiss Air Force Base, and hopefully heading home tonight or maybe tomorrow. We'll see. Right, and here we are in the OnAir client. The flight has been completed. Just gonna hit OK, and if we go to our completed jobs board, our business trip is completed, and we were paid $28,700 for this 2-leg trip, and that is great news. I want to thank you guys again for flying along with me today on this 2-leg trip from Teterboro to Syracuse and finally to Griffiss Air Force Base to drop off these passengers. I will see you guys on the next video. Thank you again for flying along with me.